Imagine being locked inside a giant freezer, surrounded by endless rows of frozen goods, the cold seeping into your bones, with no idea if rescue is coming. This is not a story of a daring escape or a heroic feat on a mountain. It is the chilling reality of a young boy trapped for 3 days inside a warehouse refrigeration unit. His survival stunned the police and baffled experts. How does a child endure hours, then days, in near-freezing darkness, with no food, no water, and no way out? The boy, barely 10 years old, was last seen playing near the industrial storage facility on the outskirts of a small town. That evening, as workers locked up and left, he somehow slipped into the massive warehouse. The door to the refrigeration room, a locked walk-in freezer designed to keep meat and produce at sub-zero temperatures, closed behind him. It was a place no one expected to find a child, let alone one still alive after 3 days inside. How long can a human body survive without warmth, without food, without water? Imagine being stripped of all comfort, your body temperature dropping like the mercury on a winter morning. For a child whose small frame loses heat faster than an adult's, the risk is even greater. Yet, against all odds, this boy held on. The first hours were the hardest. The freezer's chilling air, hovering around 28 degrees Fahrenheit, was like stepping into a cold lake. His thin clothing offered no protection. Shivering uncontrollably, he had to find a way to conserve what little warmth he had. He curled into a ball, trying to reduce the surface area exposed to the icy air. Every minute felt like an eternity. The cold was relentless, seeping into his very core. Could you stay awake in total darkness for 3 days straight? Alone? Without food or water? The psychological strain is as brutal as the physical one. Fear gnawed at him. The fear of never being found. The fear of the cold stealing his life. Yet, somehow, he resisted panic. His mind focused on one thing: survival. In the hours that followed, the boy discovered a small pallet of cardboard boxes near the back of the freezer. He pulled himself toward them, using the boxes as a shield against the cold floor and the frigid air. These makeshift walls helped trap a bit of his body heat, a small but vital refuge in an otherwise hostile environment. This simple act likely saved his life. Survival experts say that without water, an average adult can last about 3 days, sometimes less under harsh conditions. For a child, the window is narrower. Dehydration sets in quickly. The body's organs begin to fail. Yet, he had no water, no food. He drank only the tiny drops of condensation he could lick from the boxes and the walls. It was not much, but it was enough to keep the worst at bay. Why didn't he scream? Why didn't he pound on the freezer door? In the silence of the chilling room, every sound echoed, yet no one was nearby to hear him. The warehouse was locked, empty. Workers had left hours earlier, and security cameras failed to capture his entry. The boy's silence was a haunting part of the mystery. Was he too scared, too weak, or simply lost in shock? 3 days later, a routine security check finally revealed the door ajar. Warehouse staff called emergency services immediately. When rescuers found the boy, his lips were blue, his body stiff with cold, but he was alive. Medics rushed him to the hospital, where he was treated for severe hypothermia and dehydration. His recovery was slow, but steady. Could you imagine the strength it took to survive 3 days in a freezer? Most adults would succumb to hypothermia within hours. His survival was a testament to an extraordinary will to live and a bit of luck. Hitting upon that stack of boxes, the door not fully sealing, and the eventual discovery. Medical teams confirmed his condition was critical, but stable. Hypothermia occurs when the body temperature falls below 95 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, cognitive function slows, muscles weaken, and vital organs risk failure. Children are especially vulnerable because they lose heat faster and have less body fat. In this boy's case, the cold was a slow, creeping threat, but his body adapted enough to sustain life. What lessons does this survival story hold? First, even in the most desperate situations, the human body and mind can find ways to endure. Second, a small source of shelter or warmth, no matter how insignificant it seems, can make the difference between life and death. Third, the power of hope and calm focus under pressure cannot be underestimated. Emergency responders praised the boy's resilience and the quick action of the warehouse workers who found him. The police investigation revealed gaps in security that allowed a child to access a dangerous area unnoticed. This incident sparked calls for tighter controls and better safety protocols to prevent such near tragedies in the future. How did this boy's survival change those who heard his story? It forced a stark recognition of vulnerability, how easily life can hang in the balance in the most unexpected places. It also reminded us all that survival is not just about strength or resources, but about the will to keep going, even when the odds seem impossible. As the boy continues to recover, questions remain about the mental toll of such an ordeal. Trauma from isolation and exposure can linger long after the body heals. Will he carry the scars of those frozen days forever? Can a child find peace after facing death in silence and cold? This story is a raw reminder of the fragility of life and the hidden dangers around us. It challenges us to think, could we survive being trapped in a place designed to preserve life, yet so deadly to a human body? Could you endure 3 days in an environment so hostile that even the smallest misstep could be fatal? Every day I uncover true survival facts, stories that warn you, and stories that inspire. Subscribe so you don't miss the next investigation, and leave a comment. It helps this channel survive. Stay curious. See you tomorrow.